the idea of growing it first and then decorating it.
Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order for our regular town council meeting for October the 4th. Would you please stand for our pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shall we pray? Father, I invite you into this meeting tonight to lead us and guide us to make decisions that will benefit the citizens of Nashville. Amen.
Amen.
At this time, I'd like to ask Senator Lisa Barnes to come forward, please. Give me come around.
Thank you.
Go ahead, and then I'll come around.
Okay, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here tonight. This is one of the best parts of my job is to present my citizens of the district with money. So that I enjoy doing that and have been really using this check a lot lately. So getting my money's worth out of it. But Randy has given me a long list of projects that you guys have on your planning list. So I'm happy to help with those, and maybe this will help a little bit. And I still have your infrastructure. I know y'all need some infrastructure funds, so hopefully, we'll get you some of that coming shortly. And I did hear back that the state is releasing these funds now. The budget has been certified, so y'all should be seeing it hopefully, in a few days.
Sounds good.
And thank you so very much. And let me just tell you how much the town of Nashville appreciates you fighting for us and getting us funds to help us become a better town. We do appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
You too.
Mayor, maybe as a quick follow-up, you could tell the audience what we plan on using the $365,000 for.
Would you like to tell them? Hey, you spent it. You suggested what we use it for.
Well, it's coming to us, it's discretionary spending that the legislature and our Congress people had put in the budget that was passed, the state budget, and we're going to use it for the Nashville Junction parking lot. So we're going to couple that with the money we've already had, and we're going to get that project done.
Good, thank you. The first item on our agenda is the approval of our meetings. So in looking at the September 6th, 2022 regular meeting, were there any corrections to those? If not, do I hear a motion that we approve those?
Move to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. The next minute, September the 19th, 2022, and that was our call meeting. Any corrections to those?
No corrections to the call. Move we approve.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
We have one person for public comment tonight, James Baker. You would come up, state your name and address.
Yes, my name is James Baker. I reside at 103 East Green Street. The topic that I want to talk about is an old topic. I came before y'all a little more, maybe more than a year ago. It's about the speeding. We have excessive speeding on Austin, and I had even went to the post office because my mailbox has been hit 2 times. And unfortunately, my neighbor across the street at 100 East Green, she was allowed to move her mailbox over to Green Street. But because my sidewalks are extra wide, the post office said that I could not put my mailbox on Green Street. And it's really a hazard at times trying to get out there to the mailbox with these people flying in and out of town. And I just noticed that they had put up a new speeding device over on First Street. And on the corner of Austin Green where I'm at, I'm a major school crossing for the elementary school. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be a time, I hate no little Johnny or little Susie might get hit by a car, because a lot of time these people are going down Austin Street not paying attention on their cell phones and stuff, and they overcorrect. And that's how most of our mailboxes on Austin have been getting knocked down. And I know, Ms. Kate, you're pretty aware of the excessive speeding. And I just want to know, this device that they have just put up on First Street, is it a tracking device to let you know how the cars are going fast, or is it just something that just shows how fast the person's going? I don't know if it was a type of a device which would give you information on how the traffic flow was going. That was, any kind of help there, I would appreciate it.
Thank you, James.
Mayor, can we give the chief an opportunity to expand a little bit on those
If you
traffic?
like. Yes.
Chief?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Last year, out of some excess funds money, we purchased a speed limit sign to make people aware of how fast they are going, because we had numerous complaints. So right now, we currently have one sign. The purpose of it is that we put up in the areas that we know there's high traffic issues as far as speeding. So we put it up there, we're gonna leave it up there for a little while, so people know how fast they're going in that zone. And then we'll move it to other locations. So the hope is that we put it up, people see what the speed limit is, and see what their speed is, then we take it away, and then we start issuing citations. So it's kind of like a forehand warning. So hopefully they start getting cognizant of what's going on, and then we sit up in the area and write citations. So right now, we only have one of those signs. We plan on buying a couple of them, but they'll be moved all around town. We've worked with Public Works, and all they do is they're portable, so there'll be a stake there, and we'll be able to move that sign for different locations all around town. Right now, we just have one, so.
So it could get Austin
Yeah,
Street.
yes, ma'am, it's gonna go all over the town.
Okay.
We'd like to budget and get another one at some point in time, but for right now, we're gonna take that one and move it around town, and then we'll start making enforcement actions to slow it down. We know that there are problems, but like everywhere, we're short-staffed and everything else, just for the economy, and we're doing what we can to address it, so.
Thank you kindly. The next item on our agenda is the SU 2022-01 special use request at 890 Birchwood Drive. Sherry?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is a public hearing for a special use request by Cloudwise to allow an 8x10 public utility shelter to be located at 890 Birchwood Drive per section 18-111-29 of the Nashville Code of Ordinances. The property is on R10 Medium Density Zoning District, and the PIN number is 380008983567. Public utilities are allowed in all zoning districts within the town of Nashville by special use permit. Applications for the special use permits require an evidentiary hearing that will be heard by the town council acting as a quasi-judicial board. If the special use permit is approved, the existing 0.411 acre parcel is proposed to have an 8x10 public utility shelter established to provide broadband service to the town of Nashville and allow the community to utilize Cloudwise's services, providing flexibility to meet individual and commercial needs. So on the property there, existing now is a wooded lot. The proposed 8x10 shelter is proposing to locate within the middle of the lot with existing trees serving as a vegetative buffer. Also, the closest residential use is adjacent next to the property at 818 Birchwood Drive. The next closest residential uses are located across the street at 812 Beech Tree Drive and 815 Birchwood Drive. Other nearby land uses include commercial and the Elks Lodge, which is also located within the R10 zoning district. And a few staff notes: public notices of this item were mailed to 22 property owners within 500 feet from this petition property, and they were mailed out on Wednesday, September 21st, 2022, and it was published in the September 22nd and September 29th publications of the Nashville Graphic. The TRC committee met on September 23rd, and they had no comments or concerns. And in granting or denying the special use permit, the council shall make the following findings of fact. with the first being the use will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed and developed according to the plan as submitted and approved. And according to the application, the applicant stated the proposed utility shelter will not materially endanger the public health or safety in the area that it would be placed. This utility shelter will result in distributing fiber internet access in and around Nashville, North Carolina. Furthermore, the effects matriculate to the general public and potential subscribers who rely on broadband internet to run businesses, telework, conducting schooling, telehealth, and more. The second findings, the use meets all required conditions and specifications. The use meets most, and the applicant states the use meets most required conditions and specifications except the minimum lot size to build a utility station, which is 1/2 acres. Cloudwise has requested a variance for the minimum lot size because parcel number 002594 is 0.411 acres. The next finding, the use will not substantially injure the value of adjoining or abutting properties or that the use is a public necessity. The applicant stated that the use of this parcel will not substantially injure the value of abutting or adjoining properties. They have presented their proposal to the property owner, Robbie Davis, who also owns the abutting property, parcel number 335035. Mr. Davis agreed to their proposal of placing a utility shelter on parcel number 002594, along with the tree clearing and access egress points. And the last finding, location and character of the use, if developed according to the plan submitted and approved, will be in harmony with the area in which it is to be located and in general conformity with the plan of development for the town. And the applicant stated in the application that Cloudwise's proposed utility shelter will be in harmony with the area and will be in general conformity with the development plan for the town. The utility shelter will help Cloudwise distribute fiber throughout the town of Nashville, allowing the community to utilize their services and provide flexibility to meet individual and commercial needs. And in granting or denying the special use permit, the council shall make, in addition to those findings, the council can require additional conditions to ensure that the use will be harmonious with the surrounding area and keeping it with the spirit and intent of the land use ordinance. Also, a public hearing for the variance for section 18-119-29-C of the special use regulations for this special use is scheduled to go before the Board of Adjustment at its meeting on Thursday, October 6, 2022. And in you have your staff report and attachments that includes that's attached behind the staff report is the application, your plat, the construction and storage maintenance easement, the site plan, the property vicinity map of owners within 500 feet, the listing of property owners within 500 feet. And also on page 19, you have photos of the petition property and the surrounding and nearby properties. And just to clarify, section 18-111-29 allows public utilities within the R10 zoning district by special use permit that must be approved by the town council. However, section 18-111-29C of the Code of Ordinances requires minimum lot area of 1/2 acre for public utility stations. In this case, the petition property is 0.411. And again, that variance is requested for 0.089, and that will be going before the Board of Adjustments. And also on page 20, the regulations for special uses A through F. So all those are in compliance with section 18-111 with the exception of C, and that's the one that's going before the variance. And so, and you have also your staff notes and also your quasi-judicial rules there. And also in granting or denying the variance, just a few choices you have: zoning denial with specific finding and stating reasoning for such, the zoning approval without conditions, acceptance of project as submitted, and another choice is zoning approval with the selection of conditions provided by staff, board members, and/or applicant. Or you could table for further study.
Okay. Do I hear a motion that we go into the quasi judicial hearing, consider this matter?
So made.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone is going to speak during this, please come forward and let me swear you in. And you know this is where experts speak.
Or the applicant.
Or the applicant, right. So if you come forward, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thanks. State your name and address.
I'm Jacqueline Lewis, Director of Community Affairs for Cloudwise. Other members of my team could not be here, so I'm here on behalf of our company, just hoping that we can move forward with this. Hopefully you all have seen what has been going on. We are already pulling fiber through the town of Nashville, and I'm here to address or answer any questions that you all may have about this.
I have one, Jackie. Is there a picture, a photo that tell us what this utility shed would look like?
That was my one question.
What would it look like, and how far is it set back from the street right away?
Let me see if I can get that picture, but I'm trying to think where there's one similar to it. It's actually, there's one.
It's actually on page 35.
It's on 35?
Yes.
So I don't have that, but.
Front, look like the front, it'd be setting back 65 feet approximately,
Also, the
Okay.
location of it.
plus or more, yeah.
I'm sorry, Sherry, does that include the picture as well?
I don't have a picture.
Well,
Okay.
let's,
Oh, just that site plan, I don't have an actual
yeah,
picture.
I was looking for an actual picture.
Let me get that picture. I do apologize.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
But it's no different than, it's like the metal boxes that you see that are really close to like the train station or where the,
So everything is enclosed?
yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Absolutely.
I
So
mean,
there would be nothing that would be exposed to elements. One, that would be a safety issue for us, but nothing would be exposed to the elements or
Nothing-
so anyone could just walk up. And the
Yeah,
box will
nothing
be
that a child
locked.
could walk up to and get unharmed by it.
No, sir, not at all.
I still would like to see that picture if you
Okay,
get it for me, Jackie.
all righty.
All right, that was my
And is the
question.
plan to have it fenced off in any way, or it's just all enclosed in the box, and so that keeps everything contained?
So there's a cement pad, typically that's poured first, and then the box is actually built up from the cement pad, and everything is enclosed within
Okay.
that casing.
And that will be within vegetation around, that will be the buffer for any other surrounding roadway or homes or things like that?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. So right beside it, it used to be, if you are, I'm sure you are familiar where the boathouse, where the pool house and stuff was, so it's gonna be right there in between that vegetation that's right in that area.
Right.
think
I rode by there today.
So these are pictures of the AT&T sheds on the end of Northeast Point Avenue. They're a little bigger than what Cloudwise is proposing, but they're similar. They're just a shed where all the infrastructure comes up in one place, and they got connections and switches and different stuff in there. I don't even think yours needs backup generation or anything like these AT&T ones do.
They do not, and as I understand it, there will be no fencing needed, but if that's required, we can actually accommodate that as well.
Will you be in charge of maintaining the vegetation around it so that it looks neat?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay,
Any other questions for her?
that's all I have.
Okay, thank you so kindly.
And I would still get this picture and send it to you, Council.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you so kindly. We appreciate it. If there's anybody else, nobody else, do I hear motion to close our public hearing?
So moved.
Second? Okay. Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Now we need to take a vote, and the recommendation is the town's planning staff is recommending approval of the SU 2022-01 pending variance approval from the Board of Adjustment of Section 18-111 29C. Do I hear a motion that we approve this?
Mayor Brown, if my recommendation to the town would be to condition the approval on the variance being granted by the Board of Adjustments on Thursday.
To do what now?
The variance.
Oh,
Condition it on the variance.
okay.
Sorry, to condition it on the variance.
Because the variance has to be granted for the
Well,
smaller
before- yeah.
parcel.
So can we approve it with that understanding?
Yeah, if you condition it on the variance,
Okay.
then it will take effect Thursday.
So do I hear a motion with that respect?
Let it be approved with that variance
With the-
included.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It is approved. The next item on our agenda is a public hearing for street events permit. So if you come forward, Corey.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to present the street and special event permit for the downtown Christmas celebration, which we plan on having on Saturday, December 3rd from 4 to 6. Before this meeting, I was talking with Joanne and Cooper and Cliff Joyner about when this event started, and best we can tell, it's been a Nashville tradition since about the mid-'80s, started by the Kiwanis, and then the Nashville Chamber took it over. If you'll remember, last year we partnered with the Chamber along with the Children's Bicycle Parade. We added some extra activities along Body Street afterwards. We plan on doing a similar event this year. We are changing it slightly. The plan is to have the parade start at 4:15, leaving from Harold D. Cooley Library, going up Church to Austin, turning on Washington Street, and ending at the end of the Battleship. Immediately after the parade, along Washington Street instead of Body Street this year, we plan to have activities such as crafts, snacks, inflatables, vendors, live entertainment, and food trucks. We will also have Santa Claus in the Nashville Exchange for pictures. And then at 5:30, we will have a tree lighting ceremony back at the Battleship. Streets to be affected, we would like to request closing Washington Street between Austin and Body Street from 3:30 to 6:30. Body Street between Church Street and Washington Street from 3:30 to 6:30. And we would also request a rolling stop on Church and Austin to the corner of West Washington Street for that parade.
And Corey, is from 3:30 to 6:30 in our notes. It had 7.
And the event ends at 6 o'clock. If we want to do 7 o'clock just to be safe, but we anticipate being done between at 6:30.
Okay.
And I can answer any questions you have. Also, Cliff Joyner's here from the Chamber if you have any questions from him. So.
Thank you, Corey. And we do need to have a public hearing concerning this. So do I hear a motion that we go into a public hearing?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this?
I would just ask y'all that we, on behalf of the chamber, we would appreciate consideration. You've worked with us in the past for a number of years, and we're looking forward to a bigger and better event than we had last year.
You know what I love about this is it's all about children.
That's right. That's what
You
Christmas
know,
is
their
all
little
about.
bicycles all decorated, and there's no political thing about it. It's just children, and it makes it just a beautiful celebration, I think. But thank you so much.
Nothing's motorized, it's just.
I know, it's just great. But thank you so kindly. If no one else needs to speak, do I hear a motion that we close the public hearing?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So what is the desire of the council?
I move that we approve.
Do I hear a second? Second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're all ready for Christmas then. Okay, the next item on our agenda is the annexation of the Nashville Junction with the Downtown Strong Revitalization Municipal Service District. So Randy, would you like to speak
Sure.
to that?
So the owner of the junction, Michael Hurd, has applied for, or petitioned for annexation into the Nashville Downtown Strong Municipal Service District. And we had the first reading of the ordinance and held a public hearing for that at the last council meeting. The statute requires 2 readings of that ordinance before adoption. So tonight is the second reading of that ordinance. And if you want, we can verbally read the ordinance once again, or if you're comfortable with what we have done already, Mayor, you can move right to a vote on the ordinance.
Do you need it reread? Or,
No changes, right?
There's no changes. It's word for word from the last meeting.
So since this is the second appearance of this, do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 So it is approved. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the final discussion and selection of a firm for our legal services. So we need to discuss that. We've had 2. So, council, what would you, any comments?
Mayor, of
Thank
course,
you.
thank,
Okay, you can let him see that.
she's got a picture for you.
Oh. Oh, okay. Thanks, yeah. Anybody else want to see what it looks like?
I was wondering if you could send it to Randy and he could send it to all of us. You did.
Okay,
You
good.
did? Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, yes,
Okay,
Councilman Lynn.
Mayor, we, of course, had some discussion about this at our last meeting, and at that time, based on what I heard from the interviews, along with what came back to us through Sarah with the checking the references, I would like to recommend that we opt to go with Colley Pridgeon for our municipal legal services.
Anybody else like to say?
I agree with that. I think we're dealing with 2 excellent firms that serve our local communities very well. But I think that we're at a point that we need to have a firm that specializes in municipal law. So I would.
Could you put that into a motion, please?
I make that as a motion to go with Colley Pridgeon.
So at this time, how many, do I hear a second to that?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No. Then I have a question.
Yes.
This is a year-to-year contract, right, Randy?
I'm not sure what time frame you want it to have for it, but initially, yeah, it'd be for a year.
And the reason I ask that, because, call me old-fashioned, because the firm that we've got now has been with us so long, and they know all the ins and outs, and we got somebody new that's gonna be stepping up. I'm inclined to go with a firm that's right here in Nashville with us, where we can put hands on real quick. That's why I'm leaning that way. But what everybody said, and I do realize that those that have municipal experience, professionals, that it could benefit us down the road. But if it's just 1 year at a time, if we do it and it doesn't work,
We can go back.
we can come back and change it. So
So,
so
let's
right-
do that again.
So right now, we got a tie.
Yeah. And so I'm the tiebreaker, and I'm going to go with the other firm also, just because I just want Randy to be able to focus on things for the town and not for the legal issues. And I think that they are, with all the different people on there that know, and I don't have one thing against the other firm. They've been great, but I just think for a year, this would be a wise decision, and like you said, if it's not, we can always backtrack,
That's right.
Based on how I go along.
okay? So,
So that will be calling and Pridgeon.
that will be
Calling
calling
and
Pridgeon for 1 year,
On a 3-2 vote.
right? Mhm. The next item on our agenda is the, is that yours, Corey, about the dog park?
No, we got the logo.
No, we've got the logo first, okay, that's right.
So on September 6th, the town council
We
discussed.
can't hear you, honey.
Oh, sorry. On September 6th, the town council discussed and approved a town logo and tagline contest. It was decided that any resident within the Nashville corporate limits was eligible to receive $500 for the winning entry. Town staff members and their immediate family members residing within the town limits were also encouraged to submit their designs for the cash prize. Each entry was cross-checked with the county GIS system to ensure that the entrants actually resided within the corporate limits. The town council has received all entries, including ineligible entries, and discussion is needed on how to move forward. The council can reject any and all designs, select a winning design, or choose to extend the deadline. If the council chooses to extend the deadline, staff recommends widening the perimeters to include all of Nash County for 2 reasons. One, some promising designs were received from citizens outside of the corporate limits, and 2, area schools are using the contest as an assignment for students to gain experience in the fields of art and graphic design.
Council, what are your thoughts?
I wouldn't mind extending the deadline just because I have not come to a conclusion. But that's just me.
I'd like to extend the deadline, and I'm open to possibly having some designs from someone outside of the town limits considered. I understand why we opted to do that, but I do like the idea of the school children being able to participate. Particularly maybe there might be some high school students that are in graphic design and all that might come up with something really good. But I'm sort of like Kate, I'm not really ready tonight based on what we have to make a decision.
So do you want to?
I'm like the other two that, I don't mind opening it back up to, the schools and to Nash County, because to be very frank, none of these really blew me away. And we've gotten to the point where we are at the point right now.
The seal.
I don't see the town seal incorporated in none of these, and I don't think we're ready to get away from the town seal.
Seal changes. I think this is solely for the town vehicles.
It's for the maintenance.
Well, I mean, the town
For
seal
ma-
is the town seal, but when you see that coming around, it's very confusing because it's a county building, and so people think county. And so I don't think the town seal needs to go, but maybe just on our vehicles have something
Well,
Nashville.
my opinion on the vehicles, it look like it's a state truck, not a national truck.
No, the current ones, yes, but if we put on something that
Yeah.
incorporates what
But
we
no,
want, then.
I'm for opening it back up to everybody else.
Could you put that in the form of a motion, please? Lance?
She just
Oh,
did.
Okay.
So moved.
She did.
Okay, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Okay. Yeah, Corey?
And I do want to thank those that did submit, and I think
Oh,
that
I do
they
too.
are wonderful.
Yes.
It's just a big decision that we have to make,
is.
and
Just
so I
not-
think we should take our time with it.
Just not what we're ready to go to right now.
Good evening again. Section 26-5G of the town's ordinance currently states that all dogs shall be maintained on a leash in all areas. With the construction of the dog park, we found it necessary to add an exception to allow the dogs to be off leash in the dog park area. On page 56 of your packet, we have our suggestion of what that ordinance should read. The The black right in there is what is currently there, and again, we're recommending that stay. The red is what we would like to add, and if you would like, I can read that, or?
You can read it.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
currently it reads, pets, all dogs shall be maintained on a leash not to exceed 6 feet in all areas including trails and must be in constant control of the owner. What we'd like to add to that section, it shall be unlawful for any person owning or having possession, charge, custody, or control of a dog or other animal to take such an animal into or allow the animal to enter any public park without being at all times under the restraint of a lead or leash. Exemptions, this section shall not apply to dogs in designated dog parks or approved dog recreation area in which off-lead/leash activity is allowed.
Any thoughts?
I think we just need a few commas. Just grammatically to make it grammatically correct, but that's it.
They'll still have a leash until they get to the dog park, and then they can
Correct.
let the dog go free.
Courtney,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
there gonna be a list of rules and regulations?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Yes, ma'am. We'll post those down there at the park. They'll be on a sign. We'll also get those on the website as well. And we'll reference the ordinance where it applies.
How close are we to completing the park?
We're currently waiting on concrete to be poured. It's been a struggle to get somebody there in a timely manner, but we are on the schedule for that. We've ordered the equipment, which we received funding through Tourism Development Authority for. It was estimated shipping 5 to 10 weeks, so that was about 6 weeks ago, so it should be here any time for that. Public Works has went ahead and run what water lines they can. Again, they are waiting on the concrete to be poured to finish that part of it. But as soon as we get that, we should be able to finish that up relatively quickly. We also talked to the crews from Duke Energy, Asplin, and they've been dumping some of their chips down there. If they were clean enough for us to use in the wooded section of that, we plan on covering that entire portion of the park with chips. So we're trying to get as many of those for free while we can. So.
Have you been made aware of a virus, well, and I don't know how true it is, but a virus going around in dog parks that's saying don't let your dogs run loose because of a virus that's in parks?
I have not been made aware of that, but we'll certainly look into that.
Look into it, and I'll get my wife to tell me about it again, and I'll relay that to you.
We might want to have signage in there saying, play at your own risk or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Courtney, is there a small dog and large dog section?
There is not. So originally we had discussed trying to do that, but we would have to have space for it using the property that Rosemark owns. And at the time, the council decided to do one area, see how it goes, see how much it's used, and then maybe separate the large dog and small dog area. It is in our rules that we are not recommending that the park be used by dogs under 10 pounds. We're not excluding them, but we don't recommend dogs smaller than 10 pounds.
So do I hear a motion to approve the revision?
I move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, you're on the stage again, Courtney.
Okay, last time for tonight. So, as you know, last year, the town purchased a Christmas tree that we placed on the battleship. It was 18 foot tall, has 2 different colors of white, a cool white and a warm white light on it. We can grow that tree each year by adding additional 4-foot sections. And the funds have been set aside through the MSD. They budgeted $5,000 for that project this year. And then there's $1,000 budgeted for Christmas decorations as a whole in the street budgets. The quote that you see on page 58 is from Mosca Design, which is where we purchased the Christmas tree originally from. The first item on there is what it would cost to add that 4-foot section, the next section, which is a total of $5,280.03. The other 4 options listed there The next one down is for adding ornaments to a 22-foot tree. The next two are for adding ornaments to a 22-foot tree. And the way they do that, it's, the picture I gave you shows the panels of that tree. It's 7 ornaments per panel or 14 ornaments per panel is the difference in those two prices. And then the last two amounts on that proposal is for the same, the small and large ornament package for our existing 18-foot tree. So obviously there's not enough money to do both, add the 4-foot section and do ornaments. So we're just asking for some input from council on how you would like to see us proceed this year, whether growing the tree, adding ornaments. That's where we are at with that.
With the limited space, we can't grow it so much.
It's true. But I would like to see one more panel up. I think growing it for
Yeah,
this
one more
year
panel.
would be a nice thing to do.
It was the Downtown Nashville Strong Board's recommendation that we do the additional panels for the tree. But what I'm understanding, Coy, is that there's simply not enough money to do the additional panel and the ornaments, and it will be over budget if we do the additional panel. So the option is that we could opt not to do the additional panel, but then in its place, perhaps get ornaments this year to put on the tree.
Now, will it be over budget if we do the additional panel?
From what was in MSD, but we can use some of those funds that was budgeted in streets for Christmas decorations to make up that difference.
And we wanted to use some of that money to enhance the wreaths on Washington Street, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because every year they need enhancement.
Amen, sister.
Every year they're looking.
So what are your thoughts, council?
I personally would like for us to go ahead and do the ornaments on what we've got for this year, and then hopefully next year we can do something else. If we don't use the entire amount of funds, that would leave more money for the MSD to use for something else that may come up in the interim. They still have some funds that could work for them. But I'm kind of inclined to go with the ornaments for this year and see how it looks,
And not the extension.
and not the extension this year.
Now, how much do we need for sprucing up the existing wreaths?
And I don't know if, Lee, you might be able to answer that question on wreaths, you know.
Do you have?
What's needed, right? Lights, bows, garlands. About somewhere, maybe $100, $200 a week.
1,300.
So if we use the 1,000, that would kill any upgrades to the wreaths, right?
Correct,
Yes.
if we use that full amount.
And I know you gave an option for ornaments or bows. Do we have a picture of the bows?
I do not have a picture of the bows. My thought process there is that we could go somewhere local in town and get some bows made, put on the tree. It probably would be a less expensive option. I don't know that they would last as long year after year, but that would be an option as well, just adding some large bows to that tree.
But Coy, if we don't, if we put ornaments on the part we have, and then we add the other part, we're gonna have to put ornaments on that, or we're gonna have a crazy looking tree.
We would have
That's right.
to purchase additional ornaments, and I'm sure you can do that at the time that you add those sections,
That'd
but
be
it would
extra
be,
money.
but it would be an additional cost
So
each
we'd be
year,
looking
correct.
at next year, 5,280 to add a panel plus,
And that price goes up each section because
Right.
you're adding
Right.
a larger section on the bottom,
well,
so,
I think it would be the same price though, because if we're not adding a section this year, that would be
Correct.
next year.
yes, ma'am.
And then we'd have to do it for, we'd have to add on, I don't know what the difference would be, because this is for the whole 22-foot tree, which obviously if we did 18 feet of it this year, it would be a lot less, but how much less?
Well, is that, am I misunderstanding? The bottom part says ornaments for an 18-foot tree. So that would be the cost of the ornaments for our existing tree?
Correct. So if you look at the price should be the difference, if you're looking at let's just say you're looking at the large ornament package, for our existing 18-foot tree, it's $2,574. For the 22-foot tree, it's 3,861. So it's, that difference is what you're paying for that additional 4-foot section
Okay.
in ornaments.
And now, is the recommendation to go with the small and the large to make it look like this?
They do a variety of 6-inch and 4-inch in both of these options. The difference in the options is the amount of ornaments per panel.
Oh, okay, now I
From
understand.
7 ornaments per panel to 14.
Okay.
So it's $1,287 if you were to get that 4-foot section this year, and you'd have to take that 2,574 and add, I'm sorry, the difference between the 3,861 and the 2,574 is $1,278.
So just add that to the 5,280.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
My opinion is that the tree was lovely with just the lights. We were very happy with that, so.
The only thing I would say about it is that during the daytime,
Mhm.
it's just the tree. Obviously, you don't see the lights, so there is something to be said for having some decoration.
I wouldn't overkill though,
No,
with bows and balls.
no. You want it simple and,
And we could always start with the smaller package
Right.
to see how it looks, and if it looks sparse, then we can add on to it. The picture that you showed us, is that the 14?
That is 14 ornaments per panel.
Okay.
And that also has the variety of red, green, gold, and silver. Of course, we can customize that to any colors that the council would like to see as well. But that's what they do as a standard, traditional colors.
Well, I'm fine with any of these options, so if someone's passionate about it, I'll go with you.
well, obviously, we can't get the additional panel and the ornaments without going way over budget and perhaps making matters even worse as far as our wreaths and other decorations. So for this year, I would be willing to say, stay with the height that we have, but get ornaments so that we can at least have something that looks decorative even during the daytime hours. I'll make that in the form of a
Is
motion.
that what you were saying, Larry?
And Larry had that in motion.
Is that
No.
what you
That's
said?
basically what I saw.
Larry and Lynn, are you foreseeing the, the 14 per panel or the 7 per panel? Just so we can include that in the motion.
I would think the 14 per
14.
panel.
Okay.
And if I may ask a follow-up question, are you wanting to go with the traditional red, green, gold, and silver?
Yes.
Sounds good.
So Larry has made a motion.
I had the motion.
Second.
And Lynn?
Yes.
So all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much for all
Thank
you
you.
do, Corey. We appreciate it so much.
Corey, since this is a local vendor out of Raleigh, can't we save a few pennies if we go pick it up ourselves?
I believe we can.
Why don't we do that?
Yeah, I don't think they even included
That's what we're going to
freight.
try to do.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is budget amendment. John?
John.
Budget Amendment 5, this is for the Governor's Highway Safety Program. That was awarded last August or July last year. In that, it agreed to pay for a car for one of the officers. That car did not get delivered until after 7/1, so it is a fiscal year 23 expense. So this is just having that expenditure in fiscal year 23 as well as the revenue being Governor's Highway Safety Program. It's no net change in appropriate fund balance.
Move to approve the amendment.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Budget Amendment 6 is agreeing to the $410,000 purchase of the new rec center as well as $125,000 in construction and other rehabbing. And the offsetting is we plan to go out for a loan for that.
Have we researched the loan interest rates?
Yeah, I got a couple quotes. The lowest was 4.25, and that was after they raised the rates most recently. So 4.25, we got that better rate because we're a government and we're not a default risk at all. We're not Credit Suisse.
And you did say this is for the purchase and for the upfit.
Yes.
I move to approve.
And I talked to Coy this afternoon. We have not received a formal quote back. 125 is just kind of an estimated figure. The one proposal we got back was for 600,000. Obviously, I'm not using that to judge it, but
Thank you.
that's what
That won't go.
believe me, I agree.
Okay, Larry, could you make your motion again, please?
I move with this figure that he's offered the council is for purchase and for upfit of the old Acme cleaners that we approved, this budget amendment.
Second.
Second, Louise, Ms. Hinton, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Budget Amendment 7 is recognizing a $36,000 500 grant for rural business development. This is for Fund 20 MSD.
Move to approve the amendment.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Amendment 7 is approved. Next, revision of the utilities.
Yeah. So just going through the utility customer service policy and updating it. The main changes were currently our deposit is $100. I'm suggesting we move it to $200 because $100 does not cover 2 minimum use bills, and it would take us 2 months to really know that, hey, they skipped town and they're not here anymore to close out their account. So I'm changing it to suggesting we change it to 200. The other change is just adding clarification under transferring of services, a residential or property management customer. That's just a clarification item. And on the leak adjustments, currently we're buying 100% of our water from Rocky Mount, and that's at a rate of $3.34 per 1,000 gallons. And previously, the leak adjustment, it would give $2.25 off their water, and that was when we were billing it at $4.50, they would write off $2.25. But that was when we were also producing our own water, and the Rocky Mount rates were lower, where that was basically our break-even rate. I'm suggesting we bump it up to taking just $1 off to bump it from $4.50 down to $3.50 in the event of leaks.
Bless you.
On the security deposit, John, have you checked with what other locales are doing, small towns?
I know Rocky Mount is $3.25. I think, and I looked on school government, the average is $2.25. $200 is generally what I think is generally within the realm of low. And also, if a customer comes in and signs up for automatic draft, we waive the deposit requirement. But if their payment is returned twice in a 1 year period, they have to come in and then pay the deposit.
I feel that we need to keep the 225 in place.
Pardon?
I feel like we need to keep the 225 in place.
For the leakage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for the leak.
Mhm,
Okay.
for one-time leak instead of $1, because, most people are blindsided by that, and they come in and they're all upset, and, this is the least we can do for our citizens after that.
And we will be producing our own water again,
Yeah.
God willing.
And,
Yeah, I hope we
and
can
they
get our
are under
wells
the
going.
impression that we're maintaining our wells and that we're using well water, and that's something we need to address.
It's a very fair point. I'll take that out, but everything else hunky-dory.
Do you agree with everything else? If so, let me hear a motion that we approve this revised customer service policy.
I submit that we do, sans the 225.
Okay. Second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, John.
Mayor, speaking of our wells, Lee's got some good news he'd like to give to the council.
Come up with good
Come
news,
on.
Lee. We want some good news.
Well, no pun intended. Well, number 6 and 7 received their new equipment this week. So we flushed our disinfectant at well number 6, and we'll take our first sample tomorrow. So hopefully we'll be up and running this weekend or early next week at well 6, and then probably mid or end of next week, well 7 should be back online. And then
Great.
at the same time, Applied Resource Management is finalizing their quote for upfitting well number 5, based on the recommendations from their assessment. So hopefully
Who
here,
did you go with for that, Lee? What company is doing that for us?
Applied Resource Management,
Okay,
they've been nothing but fantastic.
good.
So
And they're out
it's
of
been a real
Hampstead.
pleasure.
They're out of Hampstead,
Hampstead, yes.
so they have to come a far piece to.
Well, they're based out of Hampstead. I think their employees just report to wherever they're doing work from the house. They don't, they're not shipping up here every day. They've been doing a lot of work in the area for some private water companies. They've been it's worked out really well. They've been doing a lot of work in Spring Hope, and so while they're in Spring Hope, Middlesex, it just has worked out very well with coordinating and scheduling.
So our wells are looking hopeful.
Yes.
Good news.
And this is 5, 6, and 7.
Yes, 6 and 7 should both be producing by the end of next week, and 5 is in the process of getting a quote for being upfitted with new equipment and doing some cleaning based on the assessment that was done 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Any hope for 2 and 4?
We're gonna follow those up with some phone conversations to see whether, the upfront costs will be more with those because they need some deep cleaning. But based on the conversations, what's it gonna cost? Is it worth it? And then ultimately we can discuss it and decide if that's the next best step to try to get all 5 up running again.
Well, Lee, we thank you for that good news.
Yes, thank you.
Lee, I was going to ask you, the electrical problem on 6, was that very difficult? You said there was arcing.
That's all been resolved. It was, we found some pinched wires on the wire harness, and so occasionally it would arc at the top plate and outside of the well itself, and that was the pinched wires coupled with some wrongly adjusted electrical components. Kind of beyond my
Gotcha.
scope, right?
Gotcha.
That's why we got Jared.
While you're there, all these breaks in the water lines are caused by Cloudwise and the contractors. There've been about 5, is that right, Randy? And the last one was out here in Western, near Bass Drive, that was huge. What's a dollar amount in all that?
21,000.
21,000, and
That's what we've invoiced them for so far.
hopefully they will reimburse the town.
They have given us their word that they will reimburse us, but
Good.
And there seemed to be one contractor that was repeatedly hitting
Hitting
pipes
the
that it was
pipes.
gone now.
So maybe we will not have any
Right.
more. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
you for getting those wells going. The next item on our agenda is our town council meeting scheduled for October the 18th. And Sherry, I'm gonna give that to you, and where you've got Member Taylor, you can also put Mayor Brown.
Yes, so as your agenda report mentions, we've got 2 folks that we know are not going to be available for the October 18th meeting. So, of course, the council can decide to move forward with the meeting since we will still have a quorum. If not, the meeting can be either rescheduled or canceled. However, if it's canceled, we do know that there's going to be a need for a work session probably the week of the 24th. For a couple of items related to the Rural Transformation Grant and 1 item for Coy's department. So that may change. There may be some additional items, but for now, those are the only 2 that would need to be addressed the week of October 24th at a work session during the day, most likely. Short work session, shouldn't be long.
I move that we cancel the meeting. And if we could have a work session on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday morning, that would be my preference.
Okay.
Well, since you are the only one with young children, we might connect.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Well, council, thank you for a great meeting. Do any of you have any comments? I just would like to say to all the chiefs back there, I hear good things about you everywhere I go. You're making me proud, so keep it up. For all of our department heads, people are noticing the job you're doing. Any other comments, council? Everybody's good.
Being no
So,
further business, I move we adjourn.
Second.
all those in favor of adjournment, let it be known by saying aye.
All right.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you when we see you.
See you when I see you.
Yeah.